We're live now. Okay, Sharnael, you've asked me to introduce it. I've never done this before. Massively not in my comfort zone. Anyway. Hello, everybody. Sharnael and I just jumping on quickly because we were sort of talking before in real life on the phone, just about things that are going on. And I just felt that frequency shift. And we were just talking about things, things that were happening and things that have happened with us and got talking about kind of cancel culture and how it's infecting everything at the moment, and and how sensitive the Ukraine-Russia issue is at the moment. Because I have family that are from the Ukraine, and they're absolutely horrified at what's going on over there. But we were just talking, weren't we, Sharnael, about this obsession with the answer to the world's problems is to cancel it. Rather than have kind of an adult dialogue or a conversation about it, even a debate if need be. And it was just sort of like, well, let's put it this way. I've got a friend who was going to see a Russian opera here in my hometown in Blackpool, and she's had a notification today that the show's been cancelled because it's a Russian opera.
Literally cancelled.
Literally cancelled. Literally, they're not going to put the show on because they're Russian. Is this not racism? By the very definition that you are cancelling something because of its nationality, and I'm just like, I'm pretty sure that these opera singers or whoever it was, these Russian opera singers, just because they're Russian doesn't mean they support what their government are doing. And we really need to make this distinction that so much of the world's problems is, or are, should I say, the self-proclaimed elites versus us, the people. But they make it about nation states, and we really need to grow up and start having adult conversation. And that's what we were talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah. And we had the same thing here. And I know you mentioned them dumping out Russian alcohol down the drain.
Yeah, Russian vodka has been cancelled in shops over here in the UK. A cooperative shop, I don't know if you've heard of them. They basically said they're taking it off the shelves and they're not stocking Russian vodka anymore, as if that's going to stop Putin. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and the company who makes the alcohol, we don't know what they think or whatever. And when you mention the thing, all of this is just very confusing. Just like our government is doing things that are crazy all the time that we don't enjoy, and things are being brought up all the time. Whether it's this war stuff or we all know 9/11 was an inside situation now. And I say we all know. Most everybody knows. If you don't know, newsflash, I'm letting you know. I think there's probably a good percentage of people that still don't know that and believe it because of the narrative. But these narratives that are going out about pretty much everything in the last decades isn't true. I think that most people are seeing that even more in the last 2 years with all this other hoax bullshit. But why all of a sudden would everything be true now just because it's a different subject matter? It doesn't make it like all of a sudden they just have a conscience and they're going to tell the truth. They've already been busted showing footage of bombs going off or different things that are absolutely the same footage used 7 years ago at a whole different city, but and they're being constantly busted on lying. Yep. But yet but this narrative that's come out now, it's like, oh my God, everyone, now let's do this. It's like, okay, well, why is this distraction? What's going on? Honestly, I don't personally know what's going on, but I'm also not blaming anyone or trying to, I'm team humanity. I believe in life. I believe in peace and justice and, saving children. And, I just think that this is so complicated and so deep for anyone to just go well, I know what's going on or I know what's going on, and then make the choice. And I was sharing with you even about this book that is being canceled and different people that are being canceled, and the whole company people are trying to cancel because this one person did a video and said, well, this is, oh, what was that?
Sorry, that's just I just got a message. I'll just turn notifications off. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It sounded like a fire alarm or something.
It was loud.
Yeah, I mean, there's another, there's a few different things that I'm, not participating in, but noticing or observing where people are just suddenly canceled or a whole company is canceled because, one person got on a viral or got on a video who was actually in a lawsuit and butthurt and did some things, and all of a sudden, it went viral, and people just, without any investigation, without any looking into what really was said or who said it or why they said it or knowing any of the big details, kind of just like decided, okay, well, we're canceling that. We're canceling the people, the company, the book, like all of that, just because they had a hunch or because they believed whatever was told to them. My thing is, why aren't people not actually thinking for themselves and doing some research and investigation on some things instead of just going by what anyone says and going, well, that is true because I read it somewhere, I saw it somewhere, and then like zero investigation, zero ability to have a thought without someone giving them the thoughts. Like that's what is concerning to me.
Yeah, well, what I've noticed as well is, like with the whole corona hoax situation, I'm sure that's not a trigger word on YouTube, but
It actually is. So
is
yeah.
it really? Whoops, sorry. But yeah, is that they pump out information so quickly and so fast to trigger people into an emotional state, so that they're in the lower energy centers. They don't think straight and they react. They cause a reaction. So when the people are like that, they've got them. They can manipulate them. They can control them. And I'm not, but what the consequence of that is, by questioning the narrative, they say, "Oh, you're pro Putin, you're pro Russia, then aren't you?" Well, no, I'm trying to find out what's actually going on here. Because if the past 2 years has shown us anything, is that our media and governments are pathological liars. And the reason why we do this show, which we're going to announce the new name, aren't we? We're all about the truth, getting to the truth, because the truth will set us free. The truth really matters. And
Ta-da!
ta-da! Did I just announce it?
Yes.
And so I like I said to you before, I've got family who are Ukrainian, and I deeply, deeply feel where they're coming from. It's their homeland, and but like you just said, the media have been caught out putting out propaganda against Russia. Why? If it's that bad, why do you need to do that? But asking that question, people are so emotionally hyped up, they get angry at you and they get upset at you. And this is the divide and conquer that they're trying to do. We just need. I mean, I don't have a clue what's going on. I don't know the politics. I don't know why Russia are doing this. I don't know. What I do know is that Ukraine is corrupt. I know that our governments are corrupt, and I know that Russia is corrupt. That's
so your married family left because of the corruption.
Precisely. They actually were granted asylum over here because of the problems that they were facing in the Ukraine.
Right. So,
by the way,
so they leave to get away from it because there's obviously something going on. And then their entire family actually leaves, not just one person, but first one person and then the entire family, because something's terrible happening. To get asylum is a big deal. But
absolutely. And it was a real battle to get asylum over here. My brother, worked really, really hard in helping them get that, appealing to the Home Office and things like that. It wasn't easy. So it had to be an extreme situation. So the point being, things aren't great in the Ukraine, but the point also is that it's the people that suffer. All these elites, so self-proclaimed elites, are having these wars between themselves, and the real people who suffer is the common people on the ground. That's what's a travesty about this, and we can't ignore that for the Ukrainians and what's going on.
And I agree. I again, that's going back to, I'm pro-life. I don't like that the people are. I do believe that people are being hurt, killed, that there's loss of life, just like there was with 9/11, because they they did this narrative that there was mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction, and that we had to go over there and we had to start this thing. We had to like get back. This was all made up here. It was done inside to have the excuse to go do what they wanted to do anyway, which was protect their drugs and what was going on over there, because all those anyway, so they make up a scenario, and guess who pays for it? Physically, we pay for it. We paid for 9/11 with blood, with soldiers, with families being put up, broken up, and loss of life over there for sure. Financially, how much does a war cost? So who's making money off a war?
Exactly.
So what's the thing behind this one? Like, there's got to be something else going on. I don't see why someone would just, I don't know.
Just storm into a country. I mean, I have my theories, and they are literally just an opinion. So don't, people out there, don't quote me at all, because I'm trying to figure it out like everybody else. But Laura Eisenhower and John D'Souza did an amazing show. I don't know if you've caught up with it yet.
I did. I saw the first part.
Yeah, well, I saw the part on YouTube, and I think she went deeper on her subscription show. But it was just, there's clearly something going on with regards to biolabs, US-owned biolabs in Western Ukraine. Again, please don't quote me on this. My opinion is very much subject to change as new information comes out. But this is what's coming out at the moment. Is that, like I say, that there are US-owned and Biden-funded, by the way, personally invested monies into these biolabs. And what we just experienced for the past 2 years, there is a clear connection of this global war that's happening. I keep saying this. We've been in World War III for many years now. People don't realize it. We've been in a war for at least 2016, where some good people have risen up and are taking out the negative agendas, let's say. And I don't think it's as cut and dry as people make out. That's just my opinion. I think there's been some battles lost. I think President 45 not being president now is a loss. That's just my opinion. It's just the more we are informed, the more we can influence those around us, and always do it from a heart of love and seeking the truth. Because again, they want us emotional. They want us highly strung, because then we're going to fight each other. And when we fight each other, they win. This is the people versus the self-proclaimed elites. And we need to, what I'm asking is, where are the peacekeepers? Blessed are the peacemakers. Where are they? Where are the ones who are going to prevent the wars? I mean, I just have to say, during President 45's 4 years, there wasn't a single war started. There was peace between the Koreas. There was historic peace agreements in the Middle East between Israel and Middle Eastern nations. He brought global peace. The only people who caused chaos in his life was the homegrown terrorists, shall we say, the ones who want war, the ones who want global domination, basically. It's a mess. It's a real mess. But I think there are things to be grateful for in this. And it sounds horrible, because I know people are suffering, and I'm not ignoring that. There are Ukrainian people who are suffering, and that breaks my heart. But there is always a bigger picture to what's going on. And I think I can see there being a positive outcome to this. And I don't want people to mishear me when I say that, because I'm not being callous towards the suffering. It's horrible. But I just think we need to personally, I'm taking a step back, and I'm just watching how it unfolds, because I think the way the media is spinning it is outright lies. And all this, flags, Ukrainian flags and all that, it's fine to show your support. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, when they cause this level of reaction, there's a reason for it, and I want to know why. That's where I'm at.
Well, and we've discussed this too. Even when the hoax dis-ease issue was going on, Chinese Americans were in the States, and they were being blamed, spit on, shunned, you know, because this was apparently their fault, even though they may have been born in China but have been living here for 45 years, and all of a sudden they're the whole reason why all of this happened. Which again, we could go back with that. We could blame Russians who make alcohol. You know, even with like slavery, somehow we're all in trouble for slavery that happened however many years ago because we happen to be white. And they're, you know, but we ourselves were slaves as white people at one point too. So, you know, it's like it's a misplaced blame.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, it's just doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't understand why it doesn't make sense to other people. And no one's hurting, you know, you're just hurting yourselves by dumping out Russian alcohol or burning down a Russian grocery store or whatever. I mean, these people, I just heard about the grocery store situation, and it's like these people have lived here forever. You know, they happen to be descendants of Russia, but like they have any choice in the matter of if someone doing something, you know, across the waters, and here they are in America and they're being blamed for something over there. It's, you know, it's just like us being blamed for something Joe would do. You know, I don't trust Joe at all, that personally.
No.
And you know, how is it that we don't have a whole lot of control unless we're all working together? And we have seen some changes, but that's a little bit different thinking of just, you know, canceling a whole nationality, no, even if they're not even in the location and have no say in anything that's being done. And it doesn't make any sense. And then to bring up the whole, like, you saw the flags and stuff, but the whole Christian and Jewish thing. Do you want to go there?
Yeah, I'm happy to go there. Yeah, that because we've been talking and messaging about that as well. That there's this really bizarre mentality amongst Christians that are like, pray for the Christians and the Jews in Ukraine. Why is everybody else, does God not care about everyone else? You know what I mean? I'm just like, you know, of course God cares about Jews and Christians. He cares about the Muslims there. He cares about the atheists there. You know what I mean?
Like Black Lives Matter, but it's in this case Christian lives matter. You know,
it's exactly right.
Jews matter. And it's like, okay, so just screw everybody else who lives there and it's cool. Or I've seen like, oh, do you know that there's so and so many, there's more Baptists that live in the Ukraine than any other world thing. So please be praying. And I'm like, you know, wow, that's a good reason. Like, let's get all those Baptists prayed up because God bless the Baptists. So I don't know. It's just so strange.
No, it's a weird mentality that, you know, I've even seen, you know, bless them, Christian leaders saying similar things like, you know, we need to pray for the Ukrainian Christians right now. And I'm like, I get it, but why not everybody? Why not all Ukrainians? You know, so we're just gonna back off the the ones that aren't believers. You know, it's just like, I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Again, I am team humanity, and I am not going to pretend to know all the answers because I don't. But I also don't trust the person who claims to be president. I don't believe it was a fair election, and I don't trust what a lot of any of the narratives in of what's going on with the news. It's just not. Yeah, now I'm ringing. So, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but.
And it's okay to not know. There's a lot of wisdom in saying, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Ukraine. I don't know why it's happening. And I'm okay with that, because I think when people second guess, then that's when they're going to make mistakes and put stuff out that isn't true and things. And I've made that mistake in the past when I've been really sure of myself about things, and it turns out to be false. And I just put loads of information out that is false. So I have to go back and correct it and say, I'm sorry, I shared wrong information, you know, and I own it, but I want to avoid doing that. So for people that don't know, I'm actually on about halfway through a 30-day Facebook ban at the moment. So I'm actually, it's quite a blessing in disguise because I wouldn't know what to say, and I'd probably say something that maybe I shouldn't or whatever. So I'm just taking a step back and just letting it play out and keeping the whole situation, the Russians and the Ukrainians, in my heart, and praying for peace. That's literally it. Where are the peacekeepers? Blessed are the peacemakers. That's what I keep hearing. If we could get Russians and Ukrainians together to unite against the conflict, that would be glorious. That would be what I would like to see.
But does that make any money for anybody?
Well, exactly.
Yeah, I actually watched a little bit of a clip with Russel Brand last night. I was going to share a little bit of it. Are you cool with watching a little bit of it, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, let's see.
Ukrainian people and how to help them. Unless, of course, we can make...
Hold on, let me rewind it.
It's complicated, and all of us should be focused on Ukrainian people and how to help them. Unless, of course, we can make some money out of it, then we should probably do some warmongering. Hello there, you 5.1 million awakening wonders. The conversation continues. While you may feel afraid, while you may feel doubtful because you live in a complicated world at complicated times, know that here at least we can have an open discourse, an open dialogue. I mean, admittedly, you have to just use the comments and I get to use my mouth. But together at least we can try and reach some different conclusions, some different outcomes. And even if we don't reach conclusions, we can certainly make a commitment to grow together, put aside prejudice and bigotry, and get moving in the right direction. I'm appearing live all over the UK. If you want to come see me in Hull, Newcastle, Scarborough, Sheffield, Bristol, Glasgow, there's a link in the description to come and see me in all these places. It's a fantastic live show. It's an atmosphere of freedom, conviviality, humour, laughter, a little bit of chaos, and even sometimes some meditation. I urge you to come and join this fantastic experience. Come see me. There's a link in the description right there. Now, we're still talking about, obviously, what's happening to Ukrainian people, the horror of war. We're talking about the complexity that it brings up, with some people just seeing Putin as a villain, what do you think? People say he's terrifying, he's the new Hitler. Other people saying, well, there are complex economic and historical reasons that have led to this, but even so, none of that diminishes the rights of Ukrainian people to live lives free from horror and terror and incendiary devices. And really, if you're looking for something simple to feel here, then a simple thing we can feel is sympathy and compassion and love for those that are directly affected by this suffering. And we can together look for ways in which we, as people, let's face it, who have very limited power, it's difficult even to elect a government in your own country, let alone stop a war in another one. So we're going to look at what kind of conditions and circumstances lead to this conflict. Of course, you'll be aware of the adage, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. We have been in comparable situations before, certainly not with the same protagonists, but certainly many of the same principles. Here is Condoleezza Rice appearing on Fox News. Condoleezza Rice was, of course, high up in the American government during the Iraq War period and the war against terror.
Well, and I have argued that when you invade a sovereign nation, that is a war crime. I mean, I think we're at just a real...
Condoleezza Rice just nodding her head there, trying not to betray that somewhere inside she must be thinking, we did sort of invade Iraq, who were not really connected to the 9/11 attacks. We know that now, but at the time we said they were.
Basic point there.
Well, it is certainly against every principle of international law and international order, and that's why throwing the book at them now.
How can you throw that book? You've only just rewritten it. Cross out that bit where it says you can't invade Iraq. Right. Now throw the book at them.
In terms of economic sanctions and punishments is also a part of it. And I think the world is there. Certainly NATO is there. He's managed to unite NATO in ways that I didn't think I would ever see again after the end of the Cold War.
Wry little joke there about international politics. And of course, Condoleezza Rice has clearly achieved some incredible things in her life. But when it comes to the matter of protecting the sovereignty of an independent nation, there is an obvious hypocrisy at play. None of that mitigates the suffering of Ukrainian people, but what it does do, unfortunately, is undermine the legitimacy of Western criticism. In her roles as National Security Advisor and Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, along with the rest of the Bush administration, created an imaginary scenario that Iraq and Saddam Hussein were responsible for the attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City on September the 11th, 2001, leading the US into the illegal invasion of Iraq, killing millions of innocent Iraqis along with 4,000 US soldiers. She was responsible for one of the most radically dishonest statements ever made to the American people when she warned that unless Iraq were attacked, Saddam Hussein might very well launch a nuclear war against the United States, leaving a mushroom cloud in some unspecified American city. Now, of course, what I want you to be aware of is that I am sensitive to the complexity of the current situation. Russia had invaded Ukraine. That's wrong. America invaded Iraq. That was wrong. At the time of the American invasion of Iraq, a discourse was created to legitimize the invasion of Iraq. Still, people didn't want it. Millions of people protested. As a result, millions of people unnecessarily died. Here, there is a different situation. Russia have already invaded Ukraine. People are dying. People are suffering. What I suppose we have to be aware of, and what's important, I believe, to keep in our mind, is that the media that we consume and the figures that are on it are not reliable voices when it comes to us reaching our own conclusions. Now, I don't know enough about Russian history or Russian foreign policy or Russian expansionism to offer you a clear opinion on whether or not there should be a war between America and Russia. My sense is that of the many unpleasant, unfortunate, unnecessary, awful outcomes available to us, that is one of the worst ones. Also, I don't agree with appeasement. I suppose these are times when we have to recognize the limitations of what we can achieve unless we become an organized and ordered people ourselves with a meaningful voice when it comes to disputes of this scale. Rice.
Anyway, you get the idea here.
You know what we should do now? You should advertise this little video as Craig and Sharnael with Russel Brand.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, definitely just, and he says it really well. I mean, obviously that was a whole fake scenario that was made up for what purpose? For a money situation to do some stuff. So all I'm saying is, could that be the situation again?
Exactly.
Possible.
It could.
And as soon as it happened, my spidey senses were like, why? This just seems off. But yeah, so I don't know. Again, I don't know all the answers. You obviously don't know the answers. Russell doesn't know the answers. And the thing is, there's more to everything, and just don't jump in any bandwagon right now. That would probably be the safest thing to do, is just actually look through the truth and try to, do a little more digging before you just jump on whatever bandwagon there are. And I definitely don't trust whatever narrative, because obviously it's been proven over and over and over and over and over and over that they're liars. And by the way, Fox is owned by the same people who own CNN.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
you can't believe any of it. No, it's always spinning a narrative, an agenda to make the people think a certain way, and it's finished. It's got to end.
Yes. So that's all I got. I don't know if you have anything else to add, except for, yeah, by the way, the truth matters. That's what we're going with.
That's what it is. That's the one that won. It had the most comments.
We appreciate you guys helping us come up with the name. And I like it personally because, number one, conscious conversations is really tough to say. I dare every one of you who are watching, Shauna and Sharon and Martin and all y'all, say conscious conversation 3 times fast. Like conscious conversation is like a tongue twister. So we could have made it fun, but I like the truth matters, because literally the truth does matter. And that's why the news is trying to use our quantum science, body, biofield, imagination tools by, visualizing the narrative they choose for us to basically create it for them, and making that truth matter, literally matter, come into existence, manifest, versus what actual truth is, because truth is just a perception. And if they can steer the ship with these visuals and this talk narrative that goes out, and then we lock into that, and then we become the one who manifests it because of our imaginary giftings, then that's what matters again. So my goal in this show, and I know yours too, and that's why we're partnering up, is to actually find out what are the facts, not just what a perception of someone has. Although we like looking into all the possibilities and interviewing people who we don't even agree with on purpose to find out, like, what are their what do they perceive, what's their perspective, to be able to have these conversations consciously, and to look at all of the facets of what the truth could possibly be, or the facts could possibly be in the center of all that, because truth is relative, but the truth still matters. And whatever that truth is to you or anyone else, if we lock into that, then we'll manifest that. And so, yes, the truth matters. It does.
The truth matters, and we are discussing matters of truth. So it's
consciously all the conversations.
That's it. Well, like I said, I just think it's sorry, I'm getting a frog in my throat now, not literally. I just think it's really important that we just keep a level head. Don't allow the media to control our emotional state of being, because that's what they want. They want us in chaos. So we're not thinking straight, because, if you get attacked by a bear, fight or flight kicks in, and you don't think straight. That's why they pump stuff out the way that they do. So for me, I'm just taking a step back and watching it unfold, praying for peace. I mean, it sounds cheesy, but I am. I'm just speaking sort of peace over Russia and Ukraine, because this isn't a war of the people. This is a war of the governments, and it needs to stop. This evil needs to come to an end. And I think I'm hoping and I'm praying it's birth pains. I'm saying, that I really do think something so huge is being birthed, even over the past couple of years, and it's horrible to have to go through, but we're going through it nonetheless, and I believe it's going to be glorious. I'm a serial optimist.
Yes, and I hope you guys will share this and get it out, because there may be people on the fence, or maybe people who are feeling this way, but they've been afraid to say something, because I know a lot of people who have said what we're saying, and they're being shamed, and it's a sad thing that people can't even express themselves without being canceled about it, just because we don't trust the government, or we don't trust the news. I don't think that makes anybody bad. I think it makes people wise to be able to look at everything and try to really figure things out and use their brains. So that's just my 2 cents. But definitely, you guys share this. Thank you for tuning in. We love all of you so much. Our show is Thursdays at noon, so definitely check it out. We have quite a few people coming up. What's that?
That's 6 o'clock UK time.
UK time. Do you want to say some of the people that we have coming up on some of the interviews we have scheduled?
Yeah, we've got. I'm just trying to think now. We have Jay. How do you say his surname? Was it Widener? Jay Widener. Really chuffed about that. Stella Fairbairn. We have Dan Willis. We have a special show with Laura Eisenhower and the Journey to Truth guys, Aaron and Tyler. I'm sure there's one I've missed, but that's all I can think of off the top of my head. So we've got a really good lineup coming up. I'm really excited. We're going to get into some stuff.
Yes, we have lots to interview, lots to share. We love you guys so much. Keep us in prayer, getting all this technical everything working out, and we're praying for all of you guys too. We know there's a lot of shifts in everything. I just noticed gas is gone. See, this is another thing, is like a reason to hike up gas, and
same here.
Food and everything, just being a thing. And even John, the other day with Laura, he was saying, next thing there's going to be like a fake flag alien invasion thing, because all these distractions to, you know, notice no one's talking about the truckers anymore. No one's talking about the thing in the arm. Nobody's talking about the false election. Like, hey, everybody look over here. And also,
that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, love you guys. We'll be talking soon. And you guys just take care of yourselves, do some self-care, and have a great weekend.
Have a good one.
All right. Talk soon.